immediately lets everybody in without speaking. Okay, it looks like everything's set up. Should have a screen here. Okay, thank you. Good morning, good morning. So everything's set up. I'm ready to go. Now let's take a look at yesterday's trade. Oof, what happened here? Oh, so I did not have time yet to look at the chart, so this is the first open movement that I see myself do. Okay, yesterday morning. Let me change the hourly so I can find it directly. We still have about 10 minutes before the opening range anyway, so we got plenty of time. So we were yesterday, the 5th. I believe we were here in this ranging part. Yeah, I was indeed in here that we were. So that was previous day high. Here were the equal lows that were being created. I will zoom in for a second. That's the only thing I do hate about Top Step. If you change your minutes of time frame, that you automatically go back to the front of the screen. If anybody found a solution for this, I would be very great to find this, that I can stay directly on my screen. So we were in here, and this was our range. It was a very small one yesterday. So from here to this candle. So we never broke out. I was a bit anxious in here, I ought to be honest, for everything I do. So that's, we would have swept both sides. So this was why I was a bit more careful for trading this one. I was not feeling well, so I didn't take the trade. If somebody did take the trade, and this was the FVG that was still inside our range of a 5 minute. So our stop, if we took a long, should have been here. Never seen move, or never should have moved from this area. Otherwise, we never got out. And then if you see, I said my target would have been here at the tops. So that was my TP that I wanted to see hit. It did hit. And I would have gotten out here. I'm quite sure if I set my TP, I will take my TP directly. And afterwards, I believe I would have seen this move. I would wanted to have an extra entry. So I believe I would have gotten in here again after this wick and then had to continue move up. But damn, that was a high movement directly to previous day high. I said after we swept previous day high that we would come back to sweep out of these lows. Now, I'll not say it on Discord, but I did take this trade. So what did I do? I went in after this candle, closed this body, and I took it to the lows. Now, this one was very lucky. That was a news event, and it just swept my liquidity that I wanted to see it get. And then immediately after that, we had like a 30-second candle, huge bullish movement. This I didn't see before yet. So this was like, what a 200-point candle, like in 30 seconds. That was so huge. But this trade I took down. So shorts, I went in after the close of this body. Why after that close? Because on the 15-minute, we could see that we had a change. So in state of delivery, my stops were at the highs. And I targeted all the way down. I did not add to this trade, because if you would have not entered on this one, this was a great entry too, to see the continuation movement. Hunter was correct too, that we, after that hourly fair value gap that is in here, we did not take it, and then we swept it, and we came actually back to previous day high. Let me clear off this chart a bit. So where are we today? Previous day highs and lows. Where are they? This is the high from yesterday, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So the low has already been swept, I believe. Yeah, I believe this was the low from yesterday, so the low has been swept already. So is coming out that we are going a bit lower. So this was previous day low, so it doesn't count anymore. So I just set out Asia low then. Oh, come on, move with me. Seriously. Did I? Do you mean to say there's more local? I'm taking a look. Look, I just opened the chart like really at the point that you guys were already here. So I'm actually tape reading along the way. So now I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. Let's first take the 4 hour. So after the sweep of the highs, we came back in two huge fair value gaps. So this was a double stacked. We did not take it under it. So at this point, we're still in a bullish momentum. We came out of a bullish move. We swept highs. We came back to the lows. We swept the high again. And now, if we stay above this low, actually, we're still in a bullish momentum then. Because here we can see we tapped a 4 hour for value gap and we continue to move. We did sweep the highs. We did not stay above with a candle. So this is a small indicator that there is a big possibility that we go a bit lower. But as long as these two stacked 4 hour for value gaps hold, I believe we're still going up at this point. It's nothing showing that we have a bearish momentum. Not in, or maybe a bit in the daily. The daily did in fungal two candles at this point. So this is these two 4 hour stacked. So as long as we don't break this wick, we still have a bullish momentum. We did sweep the last daily for value gap. We have one more above, so we can still tap this one. But at some point, we do need to fill up these gaps that are still here. So I prefer to do it earlier than later, but we will see. At this point, if you see this daily candle, we added two candles up, but we did not sweep the low. So as long as we don't sweep this wick, that means that the momentum is still slightly bullish. That does not mean that we can't have a bit downwards movement. We're inside the range. For the first momentum, I would say we are moving up. That would be the main target. There were no fair value gaps in this. We did have a small one here. We did not take it yet. Okay, so 15 minutes, I would say these highs could be a big probability where we could change hands again. But it's definitely in the chart that we could go lower. We're building a very slowly movement upwards. Trendline liquidity. As these two stacked 15 minutes hold, we will continue higher to this 15 minutes per value gap. Okay, now. Probably I need to find another place to sit if this dog keeps doing the same thing every day. The good thing is, he makes me always smile. So this is our range. And if we go down, I would take it maximum first to this part of it. Do we have anything else? Yeah, we do have a little bit more on here. So we will see what happens if we do drop, and we can go through this first line of 5 minutes gaps. Those were all the stacked to 15-minute gaps. If we can breach through all of this, we definitely will be going lower. Then it means that it wants to sweep this liquidity. I would prefer us to see us first hit this 15-minute gap just above us, and then for the rest of the day, go lower. But as long as we do not take those two stacked 4 hour for value gaps out, I don't believe we will be going that much lower. But there was news today, wasn't there? If I was correct. So we have a lot of confluences, employment rates. So this does a lot. So at 2:30, I believe we will see the momentum, or just before 2:30, we will see a huge momentum. As long as Trump doesn't make a post again over China or something like that, we are all clear. So we have a range of about 16, 17 points. If we do breach, I will take this directly short. I'm not in a trade yet. Just measuring out what we can get. The reason why here I would stop and take a look, because this has like a small gap inside, and these always seem to get filled up. Who joined Glacier's thing yesterday? I really enjoyed it, I must say. I'm very grateful that he is showing his knowledge and wants to share it. Oh, for everybody on the YouTube channel. Much better, Garlic. Thank you. I'll hear it on my voice too. I did not get back to bed yesterday, so I refused to give in to my body. So I just kept doing my normal stuff, except the exercises. That's the only thing I did not do. Didn't want to overload my body, but normally my reading, my meditations. And actually, after an hour or two, it was gone, so I was very happy. Do we have any gaps inside? doesn't look like it. But this one is filled, so you can see this one is completely from wick to wick gotten filled. Even on the 1 minute. We're again inside exactly in the middle of two ranges, so you can see we're about 90 points, I believe about 90 points downwards too, a bit more downwards, but we're almost exactly at the center of a range. So from yesterday's trade, you can see we just have to take them all day, every time, and continuously doing this to be profitable in this strategy. Because if we've taken it to the high of the day's high, that was an 11-hour trade. That's the great thing. If you have the pre-session and you have a continuation of London, you can have trades that gives you the amount of money that you need, and you're done for the whole month in one trade. Now, the funny thing about this one is we still have 3 minutes before we had a breach, and we did not breach a second ago, so we will have to be patient here. If it gets already halfway this range, I believe it's quite impossible even to enter. If we do see a retracement, we can enter, but if we are already here somewhere at this fair value gap, it's quite impossible to enter, because then we have like a range of 0.3 to my target. And that's just something I will not take. I will be patient then and see if we have a reaction back up to then have the continuation. Maybe I just should not have said it. It moves exactly like I was. That's a good thing about this strategy, that you learn to be patient. The only downside is if it starts to move like this and you're not in it, it doesn't feel nice. But the good thing is that the strategy works. So how many points is this? Let me take a look. 22. What will I do if we do come under this one and we stay under it and I see a nice continuation with a retracement? We can put a stop somewhere different except of here and then continue to move lower, because this is still an 80-point move downwards. "55 seconds. Have I tested what? Okay. Have you back tested the 50% with these market conditions? So I don't take the 50%. I don't take the 50%. I just take where, if there is I'll explain in a second. So how do I take this? If I see inside the orb of a value gap, because we have a very small range in sessions. If I see an FEG like here, and it's not filled up completely, so this one is filled up completely. So there was no breach, became completely. The good thing is now that we did take out these fair value gaps. So if I see any fair value gap inside my orb range, I will take the high or the previous high to put my stop. If this gap is filled up from wick to wick, I do not count it as valid anymore. If there is still a small space between those two wicks, I will call it as if only like a quarter of a point, it counts. And then I put my stop at the previous wick high. We can take this as a stop anyways, because we have a small range. It's only like, well, how much points? It's like 20 points, so that's still perfectly possible to put your stop. At the 50% range, I only put it there if there are no fair value gaps inside, but I saw a fair value gap. Where did I see one? The last one. So we did create one here. So normally, yeah, 50% would be great. I just put it a bit higher at cautious. And this was the last sweep anyway. So you can see this was the fair value gap that got swept. So this liquidity above or below here is all swept already. So this would be, if we don't go up, a protected stop. So this would be normally then your stop, just because this is a safe one to put it there. Now we saw a very fast reaction out of this. So there is a big possibility that we will go up higher and take it to the highs where I was expecting us to go. No entry yet. I was just looking for how there's a 1 minute for value right under the orb. Oh, let me take a look. Yeah, here, indeed. So that's just why, or even here, if it's like a half here, if we do not breach this, we can just tap this one. First of all, I will be patient and see what happens after we touched this one, because we could just tap it and continue. Because of this reaction back up. In my first momentum looking now, I believe we will go up. So if we have two fair value gaps like this stacked on each other, what do I do to find where the main point is? I just draw them both, and I like to see the middle of the range get tapped. So this was like perfectly that middle of this range. If the middle of the range is getting tapped of both of them, I normally call it as a valid retracement out of it. Plus, in 1 minute, we had a nice change in direction already. Nine seconds till close. This is a bit, yeah, it should be up here. We had here still inside this range a very small for value gap, so this is why I put it all the way under it. Target, I want to see it hit this part. I will trim along the way. We'll take a look now where I can add, if I have a possibility to add. At rate high of day 21,740 and stops 21,630. It's perfectly possible that we come back in the orb, we completely fill this up before we have a continuation. That's all fine. If we do this and we get outside the orb again, we can add to that position right there then after the breach again. I'm not sure who joined the stream just a second ago. Okay. If you join, please can you mute yourself? I'm taking a look. Hoot. I'm gonna mute yourself for a second. If you want to say something, just put up your hand. So now I want to see what happens after we swap this. This is why I wait for this one. It's being patient, of course. I will go get myself a drink. I'll be right back. In the meantime, the reason why I put this 15 minutes for value gap in is because this is not yet tapped and there is liquidity here. This will be if we sweep this 15 minutes for value gap and we do not come back down and we continue to move higher directly. This will be an adding place then. If we breach through it and we continue to move higher, I will add then afterwards here, but I'll get my drink first. So we're now in that 15-minute FVG, halfway. So now I do want us to get a clear move through it. So that was a very nice breach. Now we need to stay above it. We can come and tap it again because in the 3 minutes we have a gap. Same for the 5 minutes. I do want us to stay above it in the 5 minutes anyways. So that's 1.5 standard deviation that we just hit. So to everybody that joins these streams and want to take profit, always take profit like you still your own feelings go for. So I don't want us to see us come below this anyways. So after this breach, the reason why is, look here. This is this 15-minute gap that we are now inside. So I don't want us to really come below here anymore. If this is a valid 15-minute gap, we will not even tap this adding. We still have 7 minutes, and I do want us to continue move up higher from here. The reason why my stop is all the way down here and not at the orb, the reason is this is the last liquidity sweep from these gaps. We had then a nice continuation move out of it. Now, if this one holds, that means that we definitely will sweep this, and then we can add here. The next position that it will rally through is directly, normally this wicks high. So I put it a bit lower, because this could be also our TP. So here you can also say, or it is our TP, or we will add an extra. This will be both of them. If we add to the position, that's a great question, Quapo. If I add to my position, do you move the stop loss of the copter? I will leave my stop where it is actually, but in my mind, I do move it up. So what do I actually move it in my brain up, not in real life. So this is something I don't like to see. Especially we have like 5 minutes in this gap. So now in this 15-minute, I do want us to stay above here. If we come to here again, if we come to our entry, I will close it. Let me say it like that. So I don't want us to actually ever come back to this entry point. If we do enter, come back to my entry point, I will close my trade. The reason why is we have 1, 2 stacks here, and we can come back 1, but normally we should not even come back that far. If we have a nice continuation movement anyways. I don't think we have any news coming up very soon. Quarter 4, yeah, a small bit here we have in about 5 minutes. So my stop is already at this point, So I'll just draw it maybe for everybody. The reason why I don't move it is I don't like wick to be wicked out. Everything looks very great at this trade, at this point. As long as the 15-minute wants to stay here and above this liquidity, then it looks very great. It's okay for me if we tap this fair value gap here now. So I'll just tape read along what I'm seeing. So here we have a fair value gap now inside. If we tap this one with the 5 minutes, perfectly fine, as long as we then continue in the right direction. I don't want to see a black candle here ending. I want to see a green one continuing or a blue one. This is what I'm reading while I'm doing this. So that was the liquidity that we swept. So now I actually want us to see continuation. If you do come back to my entry, I will close the trade, like I said. There is still a possibility that we will finish off these two. But it's Friday, so we want to end everything with the happy streams. Even at the hourly, this looks very nicely. We came halfway this per value gap on the hourly and we continued, so this looks nice. What a mess on my screen. I'll take some stuff off, guys, because this is annoying me while I'm trading. Normally, I don't even have anything on my screen. This is a hard stop, people, so if we do tap it, I will get out directly. If we have a continuation movement, we can tap one. There's no reason to tap this one anymore. If I see a chance to take another trade, I will definitely take one. I will look at the chat in a minute, people. First, a bit more focusing on what the market is doing. Ik zie u. Heb ik gekeken naar mijn kakkel. Ik heb hem redelijk hoog gezet, maar ik kan even niet weg. We can all see that this was a both sides liquidity sweep now. So here, I actually want us directly to continue now. We can't fill this up, but that is the last point I actually want to see it move. We can always re-enter. Now there is news. I will not take a look at it at this point. No. If we sweep this and we go up from here, and I see a nice continuation again, I will add at these highs. And if I add, I will add max 2 contracts the first time, and I will add 1 contract after that part. You have the possibility, of course. So this is my first adding place. I'm inside with 3 contracts, so you can add half extra of your contracts. So I'll just add 2. I'm quite up for this week, so I'm okay with it. So this is the reason why I don't put stops. So this wick came out of nowhere. We didn't even see this populate, and just it took a week into this gap. And if your stop would have been here, you got already stopped out. So this is why I leave my stops always. I'm after the trade anyway, so I can just close my trade if it's needed. It's much easier. Looks like that we will finish off these two fair value gaps, so I will close my trade. If we do have an opportunity to go up again, I will re-enter. Contract off. 28 seconds, 27, 26, 5, 4. 20 seconds. So if this 1 minute comes under it and stays under it, I was gonna say I will close it. We did not. So after we have moved and we now do continue higher, this can be your full stop then, because this was then the last sweep after continuation. So if you ever see a continuation move, like a very long move, and you see something like this happening, I jump in these trades, because if we do move up to the next liquidity, we should continue. I don't know, this no time-based liquidity has been swept or anything, but these are perfectly valid trades if you actually know where the liquidity is and it wants to go to some place. If you should take this, this should be your stop, or the same one here. You have a little bit of better entry. If we do move a little bit higher, I will take a look at the chat again. But for now, I'm mainly focused on how the candles create. 4 minutes to open. So if London opens and we tap our hard stop, I will not get out because London can, if it opens, it can take a little bit more volume inside. So do as you please. If you don't feel comfortable, you can take it full out. I will hold and see if my stop gets swept. It gets swept. I don't care. But I'm mainly focused if we do have a continuation, and if we have something like yesterday, a direct push, we could easily just tap this. Let me show it to you otherwise. We can easily tap this fair value gap one more time before continue higher. We should not take out this liquidity because this still looks a very bullish momentum for me, even if it's now a little bit sideways. Three minutes till open. Let me take a look if somebody asks something. Where was I? Oof. Okay, yeah. And they're using top stuff. So I have long on my combine at the overnight open free. Okay. Four years. Okay. If you have questions for me, just add my name to it. It's easier. Am I tripping or did you move stop to the recent 15-minute candle down big jump? Oh no, my stop was still here. I did never change this one. So yeah, I did move this one to the last wick indeed. That was 100% correct, Babu. So this is why again here now. So after we came down, we swapped liquidity again. We should continue now. So every time we see a 15-minute candle tap for value gaps and have a continuation, that is a new stop for me. So that is where the next safe liquidity last blah 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 blah. This should be the next protected stop. Oh, my English today. So that we should not even come here. I will leave mine here for open. But if we tap it, I will not get out now. Like I said, it's opening. So it's possible that we fill up this gap completely. So we had 5 minutes for value gap here. We tapped it with a wick. And this is why I normally put my stops then here. If I add, this will be my full hard stop then. Now on open, I don't do anything. The reason why is there just comes volatility inside. So this is open. But if you zoom out to this, you can see that this action actually repeats itself constantly. So we can see we had a rally up, we had a retracement, we call it, into stacked for value gaps, and then we had a continuation. Same again here, we had a rally up, we had two stacked for value gaps, we had a retracement, and then we have a continuation normally. So this is why this should be your next stop then. So this is also how you can continue on trading without giving too much market. So if we do have another 2 stacked for value gaps, a small retracement, and then a continuation, you should be able to put your stop to the next sweep of liquidity. So this is sometimes how I can hold very long time on trades. If I'm after the charts anyways. Aljana, wil jij mijn cacaootje gaan uitschenken? Mijn tas staat daar. Ik denk dat die op de stoof ook klaar is. Was die niet meer warm?
Nee, het snoetje opstond. Hash.
En heeft hij niet warm al? Want ik had hem al opgezet ervoor net. Ik had gewoon gevraagd de man om een keer te kijken wat hij hoog stond. Omdat ik niet kost eraan geraak. Dus, talking. I just asked my kid if she wanted to get me a drink. Jana, kom het door, mijn tas staat daar. Maar als het niet warm is, warm hem op. Ah ja, ho. Wat al, Jana. Okay, that was a funny conversation. Als die niet warm is, laat je hem eerst opwarmen, nee meisje.
Ik heb niet gevoeld of gedaan dus.
Ja, is ook even te drinken. Maar ja, voelt dan, hè. Wat moet ik dat anders weten? Hè? Ik zit hier toch, meisje. The good news is if we survive the first 20 minutes of London Open, that London will continue in our direction. So now we need 20 minutes of patience. So this is what my stats say. If we do have 20 minutes in the same direction, after 20 minutes, normally we would be good for the next 2 hours or so that we continue the same move. Or it can be even the whole 4 hours in the morning session until 1 o'clock at 12 o'clock in London time zone. If not, it should end in the next 10 minutes. Like we have seen played out a few times already. So my hard stop is here now at this point. We have been going sideways a bit, but we are now 5 minutes in opening, so this should not come in too much volatility anymore. So this is my full stop now. I will not move it again. I don't move it because if it just gives me a small wick, I will not get out. Reason why is I moved my stops too many times, and then my logbook is in big red numbers now on my screen that I should not move my stop too soon. The reason why is I left too much on the table already a few times for that, because of that. Well, if I do see another trade and we go down, I'll perfectly be able to take it. We'll see if this 28-second close, how it ends. Ten, 9, 8. Looks like the position does not want to continue higher. Give it a few more seconds. So this is also why I'm very okay with this stop. It's like, in Belgium, if we can eat with our whole family for this money, I would be very happy. So now we swept it again. We almost finished this fair value gap completely. Look, now we'll put them here. Now it should not come back. Just London Open does sometimes strange things. Now we have 1/3 as a stop. So this is like, actually I want to add contracts now because this is like, I'm laughing at myself. Oh, you all know I do take this on my live accounts too. So this is like with a 0 extra on my live accounts at this point. So if it now comes back and it stops me out, I'm perfectly fine with this because we should not come back now. We closed, we finished them, we closed them again. So if we do tap this one now, I'm 100% gonna get out of this trade. Looks like it will stop me out. I'm okay with it. Today I'm not here. London gives us a nice favor. Oh, it's okay for a Friday. We still have the afternoon session and we have news. So I got to say, in the whole morning sessions, I did not make any profits yet. Because yesterday I wasn't here. Long orb. That would be minus 0.1. 30 bucks. 0.15. We got tapped. Yeah, now we got tapped. It is what it is. Let me clear this drawing for a second because this was getting. Oof. If you did leave your stops here, where I originally put it, I would say full TP, I would definitely take it here at 21,742. That would be my full TP. Why? Equal highs just above. A nicer value gap of 15 minutes that we could tap if we continue higher anyways. The reason why I got out is to protect our funds. I will take a look if we have a sweep or have a continuation. We can always re-enter, of course. Because that was 0.15 for me an hour, so this is like not even a half hour. So that's okay for a Friday. I can live with something like this. And I believe all of you too. So this is how we protect also our funds. So now we closed this gap completely. So now it's finished. So lower than this, we should not. So if you kept your low, if you stop at the actual low, or what we put it at, I will taper it and look if we have another entry. Yeah, I got out the trade. Oh, look, you can see I got minus 0.115, something like that, on R. The reason why was I moved my stop under this wick. We did close completely. So this is our range for the orb in London session. 30 bucks getting back is much easier than letting it go to my stop and getting a half hour back. So after we opened it, so I'll just tape it again. So because after we opened, we swapped, we came in this 15-minute FEG. So what does my mind see then? After we taken up this liquidity from here, I want us to continue the movement, like I said. This is why I was gonna add after this high. This high showed me if we invalid this for value gap and we do want to continue up higher, we should definitely take out this one and directly go to that one. So this is an extra adding for points. How much? 32 points that we get extra then. Now, because we did not breach this one, we wicked down. We stayed sideways, and the 9 o'clock actually just took one high. It did not. It tapped again this fair value gap and immediately had a small reaction lower. My mind now tells me that we are not gonna get through this 15-minute FVG at this point. As long as we do not breach this 15-minute fair value gap, that means that this one is valid and it wants us to continue lower. The 1 hour also, this is a long way up. You can see the volume moving up than we had in the down movement. So also this was something that I already had in my mind. So we are now looking where can the next liquidity be. I would prefer us to get up. If we do get to that point, we can always re-enter it. The reason why I was a bit more safely is because we are between two ranges. The daily low has already been swept. The daily high did not sweep yet. And it's Friday. I all want us to have a very good feeling. With a small loss is better than having to get an R or more than that even back. So even if this one holds now, then again, I will even have to put it even bigger in my notes. Don't move my stop. But we can definitely re-enter also. So if we now break the orb to the upside again, and we do have a continuation, we can just re-enter it and then have the continuation move. But orb is a continuation and not a sideways movement. And now we just are a bit ranging at this point. You just have to do what you feel comfortable in. Because I just protected myself from a bit more giving back to the market. I had great 3 days, so I'm not gonna give on a Friday back what I made the whole week. I believe I made about 10 hours this week, so prefer to keep it. So now let's see what we get here. If we do have a continuation lower, we can re-enter it anyways. Let me take a look at this chat if somebody asks something. Yeah. I still believe we could go down too, so we will have everything. Thank you, Joelhem. Are you doing next news starts in the morning? No, I never trade news. I really don't enjoy it. I do watch them from Nick's. I like the way he sees things differently than I do. So I learn also from him. I love to learn from people that do different things. Can you share your journal? Of course. I can share my journal. Let me say. I took a minus 0.15 R or 18 R or something like that. I need to adjust the time. This is something I sometimes do not remember for myself, to put in the right times. So we entered the trades, I believe here, 11:30, and we exited at 12:05. So my win rate is not that big. I got a 58% win rate, so it's not the highest, but my losses are can easily. Oh, sorry for the people on YouTube. I minimalized it. Yeah, I got out of the trade, garlic too. So the reason why I put my stop at the lower point, I will take a look if we have a new entry. But actually, while I was reading it, it still is valid, this value gap. We did not even low. So once we take out this low, this value gap is not valid anymore. Not how can I explain this differently? So if this value gap is not the one that we have a reaction of, we will automatically take out this low. But like I said, if we do have like when it gets 940, something like that, and we did not tap this low, the probability to have a great trade is about 60% extra. So in the first 30 minutes after opening from 9 o'clock, if we did not get our stop tapped, we got about an 80% chance of having a great trade. If we do get tapped the first 30 minutes, we have about 60 to 70% in the first 30 minutes that we get tapped, and then for another half hour. I have some time. We'll see what happens. If we do get a clean entry or a clean movement, I will take it. If not, I will go off to New York session. If you are a new trader here and you feel the urge to, I can only give the advice to sit at your computer, even if you want to press buttons. If you have a mouse that is been plugged into your computer, take it out so you cannot press it. It's something that helps also, but if you can't leave it, here is another button. Lock you out for 15 minutes, say yes. 15 minutes so that it helps you get over the feeling. Something that gets you thoughts into another dimension, because the charts will be here in 50 minutes, the charts will be here the next day, and having to take 2 trades a day is actually I just speak out of experience. I used to trade like 50 trades a day, and it did not help me at all. I made a lot of money, And by the end of the day, I could give it all back. So it actually does not help you. In a long period of time, so I know we always want to get fast money, I always want to do it now, but in a long period of time, you will be much more profitable if you just can shut your computer down, do something else, come back at 3:30 in the afternoon for me when the market opens. If you're in London or if you're in New York session, that it means 9:30 in the morning for you guys. Now, the good thing about this one is now, if we do have a re-entry, actually this, after we created for value gaps, if we tap this for value gap and we tap this high, I believe we will go up higher. I'm quite sure we go up higher then. If we do not tap this one, like, so this one is protected and this one is now protected. So one of these two needs to get hit to show us which direction the market wants to go. And the 15-minute is quite accurate at NASDAQ. But that was a 5-minute for value gap, of course. So the 15-minute should be this one. That was the last FVG that was created. Okay, the reason why it's purple is because my wife likes the color. Yeah, it's 9:22. Yeah, exactly. So it's 9:22 for me. Same here, Perky. I do still believe it still looks bullish, but in the overall, if we zoom out a little bit more, we have a huge possibility that we can go down. At this point, it's undecided. So we swept highs and we swept lows, and we are now moving sideways. So actually now the price is not telling us anything. It's just showing us that we are making range and extra liquidity on both sides. As long as we do not have a clear movement, because we can see even we swept the lows and we swept highs, we came into a 15-minute for value gap, and it didn't show us actually a direction after that. It just went sideways. If you zoom out to 1 hour, you can see the hourly looks bit by bit smallly bullish. Also, we tapped for value gap halfway, but if we zoom, see that the 4 hour is way stronger. Have this 4 hour for value gap, that was still okay, but I actually believe that we won't do much today until the news of the afternoon comes out. If we move another 15 minutes sideways, I will not touch the charts anymore until this afternoon, until I'm half. So what can I say to all of you then? If we get to this 1 hour for value gap up here and we do not breach it, this could be a nice point of interest. Again, if we sweep the low here, take a look if we have a continuation lower or not. If so, the next targets will be way off. yeah, then we have a big possibility that we come back to this low here. So that's still a few points. Now, if you do get out of the trade, you have to be happy now, even if it hits your TP or it hits your stop. So you took the responsibility to save capital, and then you have to be happy with either direction the market goes. If you don't feel happy if it hits your, please always leave your stop where it is. That means that you're more happy when it hits your TP than it hits your stops. The reason why I got out is just to protect capital, what I make, and I do this always. But this is just how I like to trade. Not everybody likes it this way. Some people just want to leave the stop because they're okay with it until it hits, and that's fine too. Well, I'm just a different trader in that part. I just like to, if we do have another chance into getting into a trade, I like to rewatch how the tapes, how the car charts are created, and then re-enter it just out of that part. Because I add to trades, I have a bigger possibility to make bigger gains than some people have. Ja, hij is al warm. Ah ja, je hebt hem niet meer opgewarmd. Ik heb hem uitgedroogd, dat is juist. Is er nog?
Een beetje.
Wil je hem nog een beetje opwarmen? Dank u. I like it over that berries up 5 minutes, basically outside of the range, and else we'll just come back down. Yeah. So if one of the three people that are here, Majid or Garlic, if you guys want one of the lessons that I'm gonna give for free, just send me a message on this YouTube channel, and I'll make sure that one of you to get the insight. Of course, I'm very grateful that you're here every day watching me. So I want to help you guys get more profitable sooner. I don't have time to put all of you in directly, but I will take the time for everybody that sent me a DM in the beginning to make sure that all of you got all the info that's needed. And I will do you all one by one. Just because I love teaching. And I want to help. I'm quite sure if I can do it with my wife without she knowing anything, that I can do it with anybody. So she's really a good student. So she does listen a lot. And the good thing is she didn't know anything. So I didn't have to unlearn her stuff. But she's an amazing trader at this point. She can tape read the charts just like I can. But she has much more patience still than I have. That's the good thing about her. Maybe that's something about women, that they have more patience. Because she has more patience with my kid too than I do sometimes. So Is die wat?
Nee, het is zelfs gewoon.
Oké. Probeer al bal niet dat die broebelt, is goed. So anybody that held and still is in this trade and just had patience, congratulations. That's also a skill that you need as a trader, to have patience when you're in a trade. And the second skill you need is to have full control over everything you do. So what do I mean by that is actually what do I actually mean by that is that we have to have full control over our voice that speaks in our head, and we all have it, that it tells us to get out or to get in a trade or to take profit faster, or yeah, I'm 100% sure we all have the same thoughts processes in the beginning, and this is something you actually need to learn from yourself and see for yourself what it does and say, so that you can quiet it down or get used to the noise that it makes and ignore it. Because you are not your thinking brain, you are yourself, so you can ignore. And one way I've learned to do this is by intermittent fasting. So I gave an example from me yesterday or the day before. I went out with the family to pool, and I had a drink, but I was saying that I was not gonna eat, so I was intermittent fasting. And after I had 2 drinks with alcohol, it was my mind was talking everything that I should have eaten and I need to eat. And but my wife kept it very strict, and we said, "What are you gonna do? Follow your word or your head?" So we followed the word that we said we were not gonna do it, and I did not eat anything, but it felt so good the day after that I kept to my word, except of following the head. And the day after, now today again, I'm intermittent fasting, and now it's quiet about it. So it lets you have full control over your thinking brain, and that's so amazing once you have that capacity. Because in trading, you actually need to have this. And it looks like London doesn't want to do anything. Not sure if anybody gets this, what I just thought, but I believe some people also have. My wife takes trades separately of me, and she gets almost the same hours as I do. Yeah, I now eat once a day every 2 days. So this is now something I'm gonna try out for a few weeks. So eating one time and then for 48 hours not eating anymore, and then again. As soon as she's out, does you and Amand are wise? Does she take over in the morning stream? Does she take over the morning stream? So as soon as she outdoes you in ours wise, she is a quite different trader than I am, and if she would be here, she will not speak as gently to the brain. So let me say it like she's very sweet and lovely, but she is actually straightforward more than I am. So her word is everything for her, and she is actually quite hard too. So she will not soften anything. So if you take a mistake, she will put it in your face directly and tell you why you did it, and you will have to explain it to yourself, not to her, but to yourself. And she is really not a head speaking person. She actually speaks to the heart. So people actually, if she starts speaking, everybody just is quiet. They all listen. And if somebody is thinking, the head is quiet. I actually have not met many people that can do this, but yeah, she's a totally different person than I am. She's like the opposite of me. But that's why we come so good along, I believe. We fill up each other. I'm the person that gets the ideas. She is the person that does the work. So let's take a look at the 15 minutes. Actually, if anybody tells me now that they can see what the market will do now in the next 10 minutes, please explain me how you can see it, because I actually don't see it at this point. The main thought process is still the same, that this low was swept, this liquidity was swept, that we should still go higher, but at this point, in this a lot of sideways movement, I actually don't see it. So I'm honest 100% in this.
Want to get hold of me? Hello? Please.
And what are the orbs times? Oh, Andras sent me DM. I'll make sure that you get the info. Uh, if you want to get lessons from my wife, I'll ask her that she comes on stage for a day, so that you can hear her talking process. Good morning if you just joined. So I took a trade this morning and it was a small minus R to protect our capital. And now we're just moving sideways. So I said I would stay on to 9:45 if we do not have any movement by then. I'll just leave this session alone and I would say come back in New York session, because you can see it's just waiting for something, but it has the market is patiently waiting until it gets enough liquidity to move to a side. And please don't, because this is where people trade too much. So this is a place where you never should take a trade until you see exactly what the market wants to do. Here actually you can't see anything. And by the way, Andrew, welcome to playbit. Tai is a great mentor and everybody in here, so you will learn a lot. 100% Jürgen, go do that. Same Bjorns, same. I agree. If the market sits around doing nothing, it's better to do something else than watch the charts anyways. Do we have any more news in this morning session? Maybe it's waiting on this at the 10 o'clock. ECB Holzman speak. Anybody knows who this is? I actually have no idea. Southern Doras, there is a downside risk to growth. So it's not right anymore. It's 9:45. I would suggest to all of you if you're still in this trade and you left your stop here, for this TP, I would still take it up to 21,742, and that would be full TP for me. I would have taken it there. If you did went out where I went out and took a very, very small, I would even call it a break even out, I would not touch this chart until we have a clear direction. You can see the hourly is doing the same. It's just an inside candle at this point. So if it doesn't do anything, leave it alone. Now we'll cook dinner now and have some family time. I will all see you guys back in the afternoon session. Thank you all for being here. I'm always grateful. So many people wanting to learn and to trade. Back in the afternoon session. Have a great day.